I am here with my dear friend Buzz the Bee from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. You are going to want to keep a close eye on the weather today, am I right? And let me tell you, it's time now for your local weather report, brought to you by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Let's buzz on over to the Main Street Media TV Weather Center.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
I'm Taylor Platt in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with your forecast on your Thursday. We're still watching the chance for showers and storms, mainly off to the northwest of Middle Tennessee. But as we go throughout the day, there's still chances for multiple rounds of showers and storms. Some of them could be on the severe side. As we get into the afternoon hours, temperatures warm up into the low and mid 80s. So we'll have to keep an eye on any storm development during the afternoon. And then again during the evening, as we could see more showers and storms off to the west of Middle Tennessee. Those could be severe, so I have to keep a close eye on those, and they could creep into parts of Middle Tennessee during the overnight hours going into the early morning hours on Friday. Your 7-day forecast, we're warm for the next several days. Watching that storm potential late Saturday into Sunday, and then look at that very nice cool down with temperatures dropping down into the upper 50s and lower 60s Monday and Tuesday. There's a chance that we could see a frost or a freeze Monday night into Tuesday morning.
Thank you for that update. Tune in each day on Mornings on Main Street for an up-to-date weather report brought to you by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. All of their contact information is below. Have a great day.
Good morning, Stefanie.
Good morning. Hi, kids. A hot tea, please.
Welcome to Mornings on Main Street. I'm your host, Stefanie Miller. It's called an adventure of a lifetime. It's where teams come together to take on either the mighty Atlantic or the mighty Pacific in the world's toughest row. There's 2,800 miles that 7 teams will soon take on in the Pacific World's Toughest Row coming up in June. One of those 7 teams is right here from Tennessee. It is the first 5-man veteran team. They're known as the Rangeoars Row. We'll have 2 of the teammates on with us here at Mornings on Main Street in just a little bit. They'll talk about their training, what they anticipate with this row, their hopes, and then who they're raising money for and what they're trying to bring awareness to. We'll have that coming up for you in just a little bit. But first, let's get a check of our headlines. TriStar Skyline Medical Center is celebrating its new comprehensive epilepsy center. This new center provides specialized diagnosis, treatment, and support for patients living with epilepsy. The center brings together a team of highly trained specialists and state-of-the-art technology. This rendering gives you an idea of the plan for the mixed-use development planned on Old Lebanon Dirt Road in Mount Juliet. The McFarland development will bring 300 apartments, 184 townhomes, 175 single-family homes, and 35,000 square feet of commercial space. Make plans for the Giles County Antique Power Show on Saturday at Elkton City Park. Enjoy a large variety of antique trailers like this one, vehicles, machinery, and activities. The event is free to all. Read these stories and more at mainstreetmediatn.com.
So Busy Bee is a very close-knit family. We fight just like every family does. We have arguments, but we always come out with a solution to the problems. We don't just fight about what we want, we fight about what customers need. We want to make sure that every customer we go to is more than satisfied. And that doesn't just start whenever we show up at their door, that starts when we show up every day at work. We want to make sure that we are serving our customers to the best of our ability.
Step into the Lionel retail store at Opry Mills, Nashville, and you'll be captivated by all the magic of the 123-year history of Lionel trains. Whether you're already a train enthusiast or just getting started, Lionel will energize your love for trains. NASCAR fan? Come check out your local Lionel station to learn all there is to know about model trains and die-cast NASCAR collectibles. Visit nashville.lionel.com or call 615-455-9399.
You're out there with 40-foot waves, 27-knot winds. It's intimidating and it's out of your control.
Your first week out here is going to be grim. You are going to doubt yourself. It's going to be hard, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet, it's going to be absolutely brutal. But that's what you're here for.
The world's toughest row on the Pacific Ocean, happening in 64 days. One of the teams participating, it is a first time for a 5-man veteran team to take part in the world's toughest row. We have 2 of the representatives from Rangeoars Row with us today. We have Michael Kendall. We also have Chris Farrington. You guys, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Just watching just a little clip of that video of last year's 2024 World's Toughest Row. I mean, I get anxiety watching that. How are you feeling right now?
For me, it's been a long year of training, fundraising, and mentally preparing. And I feel like we're just short of the start line, and I'm ready to test myself and the challenge of rowing 2,800 miles.
2,800. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, I would say excited, because the leading up to it, all the training, the fundraising, just like Mike said, it's tough business, so once we're actually out on the water, it'll just be like, no matter what's coming at us, whether it be scary or not, is like,
deal with it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. And it is a 5-man team. So this is 2 of the 5. Who else do you have rowing with you?
So we have Roy Emerson, who's our skipper, Jerry Hartman, and Jamie Moltneck, or JT.
Did you guys know each other before deciding to do this?
So yeah, it's like a mixed mosh. Like I believe you and Roy and Jerry knew each other.
We didn't know each other, but we were all in the 75th Ranger Regiment, hence the name Rangeoars Row during the early 90s. We were all in the same company. We didn't know each other directly, and Roy Emerson has followed this race for several years and decided he wanted to put a team together to fight veteran suicide. And I threw my name into the hat and was selected. We lost one of our team members. I was actually here displaying the boat and ran into Chris. And from that point on, we became a 4-man and actually brought on JT as a 5th rower because he was really wanted to do it this year. So that's how the whole team pretty much has come together.
You just don't jump into a boat and row 2,800 miles. You have to spend time together. You have to train together. How are you guys working to make sure you're at your best once you hit the waters?
Yeah, so a lot of it is we have a training program. Right now, it's kind of dictated by a personal trainer who's donated his time and all that stuff to us, and then keeps us accountable on it, which is it's a funny text thread,
Yes,
hey, who didn't do this? Who did this?
That would be me.
and then we all kind of compete with each other physically too.
Every night we're sending our row status and stuff to each other, and congrats, or you could have done better.
Yeah. We're all military guys,
so thick skin. You need to have thick skin.
But Jerry is a CrossFit coach, and he'll throw up sometime, and I'm like, whether or not it's going to kill me on my rower, I have to beat his time, and then it just makes the whole thing fun and competitive. And then we have we have our rows out in Florida. Mm-hmm. So then it's we're out in the elements. There's nowhere to hide, so we can kind of see the goods and the bads on each member of the team, and then just kind of come together and break it down after the row and just kind of talk about it, get it fixed, and then do it all over again each month.
Every month from the 10th through the 20th, We're down at Amelia Island, Florida, training. We're working. We actually, I would call him a great mentor and a great coach, Paul Laurie. He's actually rowed both the Atlantic and the Pacific, and he's in the process of rowing.
He's rowing up to the Arctic
Circle this June. Another guy you should probably interview. Just
No.
Does
He's
he do
incredible.
that alone or with a team?
No,
No, he always has.
he always has
Okay.
a team.
Okay.
But he has been an awesome asset to the team. He's provided us the good, the bad, and the ugly of what we can expect, what we can encounter, how to deal with whether it's working in close areas, rowing in close areas, interpersonal skills with each other, and what to work on, weather patterns. So we as a team, I don't think can give him enough due diligence, and thank you for the information that he's provided us, to include both his home and other people within the community to help us out.
And you guys have a chance to help out Rangeoars Row. But I have a few questions, or commonly asked questions, that we're going to talk about here in a minute. Because 2,800 miles, it takes several days to row. The fastest time for someone would be how many days?
So a 4-man team has the record right now. It's 28 days.
17 hours and like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
47 minutes, but yeah.
the longest it's taken a team so far?
I think a team this year, it took them over 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
It was a duo team too, so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
2-man team.
Okay.
Understandably so. I mean, 2-man team that's rough.
Because you're coming up against, the heat, the elements of the weather.
Tides, winds, and currents.
Yes.
You need to eat, you need to sleep. There's a lot of things that we're blessed to have enough guys on the team.
Guys to push through.
Yeah. But those 2-man solo teams, that's a rough journey for them.
We're going to talk about the boat, the
Yeah.
eating, the sleeping, the going to the bathroom. Yes, those questions, we're going to highlight those because I know you're wondering how this works. So you start in Monterey, California. You end in Kauai. Hawaii.
Yep.
How are you prepared when you're putting your boat? Well, first off, explain the boat that you're in.
So if you're we have what's referred to as a Rannoch 45, which is made in the United Kingdom. It is specially made for rowing on the ocean. What you're basically looking at is a bobber on the water. So as long as all the hatches are closed, we theoretically can take up to a 40-foot wave. We may roll over, but the boat is designed to rewrite itself. It has compartments all down the sides of it where we can store water, our food. In the center of the boat, underneath the rowing stations, we have emergency gear such as a life raft. We have our anchor system. We have what's known as a para anchor. If we run into extreme weather, we can, as the old saying goes, batten down the hatches. We can throw this para anchor out. What it does is slows our drift, and we can ride out any kind of storms or bad weather without going severely off course, like Gilligan's Island. We have the front and the back are two containment areas for sleeping. It's also where we do radio checks. We have what's referred to as navionics or chart plotter, so we can always see where we are. We can make, as a team or the skipper, we can make corrections. The biggest thing is we don't want to drift too far off course, because if we have to come back online, we're hurting ourselves. The quickest way from point A to point B is always a straight line distance. If you go south or north of that straight line distance, you have to come back online, and that takes time, energy, and can psychologically mess with the team.
Okay. And you can only pack so much. There's no, Domino's delivery there to the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
What food are you taking with you? And then how are you making sure you're hydrating enough?
It's all dry foods. So Mountain House meals, those type of camping foods that you can rehydrate with water. And then we have a water maker in the boat that actually, it does 10 liters every 30 minutes. So it takes salt water, breaks it down.
Just gallinates it.
And just gives
Makes
us
it into fresh water.
Okay.
And then we'll have, like the electrolyte powders and stuff like that to be able to get the water to have something in it, because that whole process kills everything in the water and just makes it plain water with no any kind of nutritional value to it.
And then we have snack packs that we
Very
can grab that'll have energy bars, candy bars, like breakfast bars, just anything that we don't have to heat with water, that we can grab at any time, just to keep us going, keep our energy up.
I had the chance to hear Michael speak at our noon Rotary Club meeting here in Clarksville. And, you always have that one person that will ask that question that you're all thinking and wondering about.
Everyone asks that question.
Everybody
You can't
asks
help
that
but ask it. And I wonder if your head's where I'm at, because it probably should be. What about going to the bathroom? How does that work?
So number one's in a bottle.
Okay.
Oh,
geez.
Yeah, fortunately we're all men, so we can figure that part
Yeah.
out.
For the lady teams out there, man.
Yeah. And then for everything else, it's a bucket. It's a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket. Yeah, I don't want to go too much more in detail than that, but yeah.
And 3 points of contact.
yeah. And a pool noodle that for comfort.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Just curious. We answered your question. I know we did. This is not only a test of endurance and strength, but there is a mental and emotional aspect to this. I can only imagine if you're out there on the ocean 28 to 51 days. How are you preparing for that part of it?
So I think a lot of us are pretty fortunate with our military backgrounds to be able to have hard things thrown at us and not completely lose our minds.
You want to bring Vera?
Yeah, we've done some mental wellness retreats that have been really helpful for us. And one of the aspects going back to training, we also do little things like play board games or things that are going to make us like get to know each other, or maybe spark an argument for some reason, so that you get into that muscle memory of, I know this is what triggers Mike. So if I need to approach him about that trigger point, I can approach it this way without actually
without saying what, straight up.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Or why did you come off your shift 2 minutes early opposed to, he may have a valid reason, but time is time.
Mm-hmm.
And a 60-minute row is a 60-minute row. The last thing you want to do is shorten that by a minute to any of your counterparts. One of the benefits, as Chris said, is we're all been in special operations. We've all worked very close together, even if not directly. So I think for this race, that's going to play a major, major factor in the desire or the intestinal fortitude to finish the race at any cost.
I mean, our hearts and our energies behind you guys going into this, and we can help you make it through the days that you're out there leading up to this, because this is not an inexpensive journey.
Yeah.
How can we help support Rangeoars Row?
The first way is to go to our website, which is www.rangeoarsrow.org.
And that's coming up now.
And then the second way that you can support us, if you would like, we're selling diamonds that look like what's on Chris's chest here. And you can put, I believe it's up to 28 characters inside that diamond, which will go inside the hull of our boat, which will be seen when we're videoing. So if you'd like to put your business name in there, put a fallen soldier, in honor of a fallen soldier, in honor of a family member that may have served in any one of the wars. I'm just giving everybody some basic ideas of what we've currently received today. That $1,000 donation will bring us closer to our $1 million goal and to help outfit 2 outstanding foundations, one being Brothers Keeper Veteran Foundation and the second being the Gary Sinise Foundation.
And you're seeing a QR code up on your screen. Now we're going to leave this up for a couple of minutes as we talk just a little bit more about the race, because you mentioned having specific jobs at specific times, rowing for a specific period. What is that time on, time off?
So typically it looks like 2 hours on, 2 hours off for the entire row. With a fifth man, we have a little bit of flexibility where someone might get a 4-hour break every couple cycles as it goes down the line. But yeah, typically you're looking at two hours rowing, 2 hours off. And that off isn't sleeping, unfortunately. That 2 hours off is getting your food.
Making water for the whole team, not just yourself.
Some boats, there's some boat chores that need to get done. Then they get to sleep, but then need to wake up a little bit prior to prep possible food for the next guy who's rowing. There's about 45 minutes of actual sleep you'll get in that 2-hour period, unless you're one of the lucky ones who got a 4-hour break in between the shifts and stuff. So
we could continue to talk. I have so many more questions, but like I mentioned, we have only so much time. My last question for the two of you.
Sure.
Well, actually 2 questions. What fear do you have going into this? Because you shared a story about a swordfish coming up through one of the boats in one of the races.
Yes. So blue marlins on both the Atlantic and the Pacific campaign have punctured the hull of the vessel. I believe it was 2 years ago while somebody was sleeping, it came within inches of severance or hitting his leg. It does happen.
But you can't think about that stuff.
You can't think about it. We've talked about it. We've talked to other rowers. So like, we need to put Kevlar in. But it does happen. But it's like an airplane going down. It does happen, but it's rare. But it seems like more and more it's happened one time during every campaign. So yes, it does happen.
Do you have any fears then?
Yeah. I have 2 fears. The first fear for me is probably a complete rollover and for whatever reason, not rewriting itself and then having to deal as a team of rewriting the boat. That was probably my biggest fear. My second biggest, I would say, fear is all us as special operators, when we say we're going to do something or we're going to pledge something, we want to stick by what we say. As a team, we've pledged $1 million as we've been referred to as 5 knuckle draggers. We have come far in the raising of money and we're still short. And I don't want to let down the foundations on reaching that $1 million mark. Every dollar, as I said, is going to help a veteran. We're taking nothing out of this. We're doing it for the veterans that are out there and need it.
I'm glad you kind of led into that because I'm going to ask, what is your hope for this at the end of it? Like, what do you hope?
Yeah, I hope the goal is met to raise $1 million. I hope this does bring a lot of awareness to the issue of veteran suicide to the public. Everyone knows and understands what's going on with the veteran community, but it's almost become a little bit normalized because of how many campaigns we've gone through the past 20 years and everything else. So I really want to hit it home to the soldiers is there's a lot of options out there to do to keep the adventure going, to keep purpose going. And the coolest thing you ever did is not when you were in your 20s or 30s. You can continue doing just cool stuff until you're dead.
This is one of the life-changing adventures for me. And a year ago, even myself, if you talk to my wife, I had hit a depressed state. I felt like I was in a cog, just living day by day. And when this opportunity came out, she'll even tell you she's seen a huge change in me. It's given me a focus to focus on. Even now, we're discussing that, yeah, this is a race. It's helping me internally, but it can't end at the end of the race. And that's what she's worried about. So at the end of the race, I want to, though I'm not going to do this race again, this is a one-on for me. I want to be able to stay, whether it's helping different organizations with raising the money, helping another team, if they decide they want to do this with a R45. So that's me, again, looking down the road.
One more time, the two foundations you're rowing for and helping out.
The Brothers Keeper Veteran Foundation, run by Chris Catheters, or founded by Chris Catheters, and then, of course, the Gary Sinise Foundation. Both do outstanding stuff for our veterans, and we can't say enough.
Was veterans and your three brothers doing this with you trailblazers, really, because again, you're the first 5-man veteran team to do the world's toughest row, which is coming up June 7th for them at 7 a.m. They'll be hitting the Pacific Ocean there in Monterey, California, and heading all the way to Kauai, Hawaii, 2,800 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Gentlemen, we wish you the very, very best.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Can't wait to hear when you come back, because again, there has to be a follow-up to this.
We'll be a lot skinnier.
Yeah, we'll be a lot skinnier. And they can follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram social media. So, please reach out there and follow us between now and start of the race. There's, a lot of great pictures on there. You can chat with the team and ask us pretty much any questions. We'll do our best to answer them. And then again, when we're on the water, hit us up with any questions through our social media platform, and we'll do our best to reach out to you.
Okay, and that's just Rangeoars Row. Rangeoars Row. And you can also, there's a live stream through the World's Toughest Row for 2025. There's also an app that we can download to follow the boats and just see, where you are in the race. And that is YB Races app. And then that'll go up when the race starts.
About the day before the June 5th or 6th, that app will be live for the 2025 Pacific campaign.
Okay. I can't wait to hear your first meal when you're done.
Yeah.
No, and of course that feeling of that accomplishment. So gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank
Michael,
you.
Kendall, Chris Farrington, 2 of the 5-member veteran team participating in the World's Toughest Row in June for 2025. Rangeoarsrow.org. Check out their website, follow them, make that donation. When we come back, we'll have that QR code for you once more. Guys, thanks again.
Thank you so
Stick
much.
with us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
You're seeing the signs too, right?
What signs?
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back. Here's that QR code once more if you would like to help the Rangeoars Row in the World's Toughest Row coming up in June. You can also help them raise money for Brothers Keepers and the Gary Sinise Foundation. Help them raise more awareness for veteran suicide. Before I leave you, I want to give a little bit of history. So it was in 1896 when 2 Norwegian immigrants became the first people ever to row across the ocean. They rowed across the Atlantic from New York to England. Their time recorded for rowing the North Atlantic Ocean was not broken for 114 years. As always, again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow.